Hey there, Jeff here, and today we're talking about how to stop doing everything in your business and why you need to delegate the tasks that you're not really all that great at so you can get back to focusing on your area of expertise and serving your audience.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You know you could.
What's happening? Jeff here, coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, this is a subject that's very close to my heart and one that I've definitely been guilty of myself, and that's the belief that we need to personally do everything in our businesses ourselves. Perhaps you've even fallen into this trap as well. I mean, think about it. It's never been easier to become an entrepreneur. You really don't need a big investment or a lot of capital at all. You could open an online store, join a network marketing company, start a coaching or consulting practice, hire yourself out as a freelancer on sites like Fiverr and Upwork. Then, of course, there's always Amazon, Etsy, eBay. Honestly, the options are endless. If you've got a skill, service, or just want to sell stuff, there's most likely a business out there that you can start quickly and on the cheap. You just need to follow a few basic steps and voila, now you're a business owner. But there is an interesting trait that I've noticed among most entrepreneurs that I call the do everything myself syndrome. We take on way too many responsibilities, becoming involved in far too many activities, basically overcommitting beyond our ability to deliver. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with the old saying, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. And again, I can totally relate to this statement, especially when you're just getting started and the title of CEO seems to stand for Chief Everything Officer. But one thing I've learned over the years is just because you might actually be able to do everything yourself doesn't mean you necessarily should. These days, it's not enough to just be great at what you do. You're almost expected to master every other aspect of your business, like branding, digital marketing, social media, and all of the technical and creative skills that go along with running any kind of business online or off. And because it's now so easy and cheap to find a software or an app that'll help you design a logo, build a website, edit video, or even automate your social media, these are all still separate skills that take time to master. And let's be honest, do you really have the patience or even the desire to learn how to masterfully execute all of these related business tasks? I know this trend is extremely popular nowadays, especially with all the bropreneurs on social media. Oddly enough, though, many of these people are the same ones out there trying to sell you on the idea of the laptop lifestyle where you can make that mailbox money while you chill on the beaches of the world. Well, one of the ways you can actually achieve that kind of freedom is by not doing everything yourself. You probably don't need me to tell you that overworking yourself to the point of exhaustion comes with several negative consequences. First and foremost is that it can quickly lead to burnout. While most entrepreneurs are terrified of burning out, they rarely take the appropriate precautions to avoid it. As a business owner, it's essential that you stop trying to do everything yourself and learn to delegate some of those business tasks to other, more qualified people. There simply aren't enough hours in a day for one person to do it all, so you'll need to learn to distribute some of that work so it stops being a burden on you. Now, I get it. There are several legitimate reasons for wanting or even needing to do most of the work yourself. For one, we think it'll save us money, and in some cases, that might actually be true. Believe me, as an entrepreneur, I completely understand. I've been in that position many times myself. But there's also another old saying that time is money, and when you're filling your time doing the things that really aren't in your wheelhouse, like designing logos, building websites, and setting up ads on social media, you're most likely costing yourself more in the long run. Instead of wasting your time trying to master a skill that isn't your forte, you could be focusing on polishing your strengths. If you find a task too difficult to do yourself, then outsource it to someone else online. There are so many freelancing websites these days like Fiverr and Upwork where you can pay someone to do that kind of work for literally just a few bucks. You can just explain what you want, pay the fee, and they'll get it done for you. For example, if you're a business owner and you need to make a logo or create a sales video, well, unless you're a graphic designer or videographer with the skills and a working knowledge of all the tools needed to create something that aligns with your vision, then you'd be much better off searching through one of these freelancing sites for someone who can do that work for you, usually in just a few hours. Seriously, the options are limitless. There's a range of freelancers out there, and they all come at different rates, so take advantage of that opportunity if at all possible. Now, there are some entrepreneurs who have the resources to bring in professional help, but they still choose to do everything themselves, usually because they think they're the only ones who know how to do the work the right way. And maybe that's true, but the question is, at what cost? You could unintentionally be preventing your company from growing into a larger enterprise because, at the end of the day, you're either spending money or you're spending time. So at some point, you'll need to choose which of those is more valuable to you. Regardless of whether you're just starting out on a shoestring budget or you have the means to hire the best of the best, at some point you'll need to decide how much your personal time is worth and if you're allocating your time in the most efficient way. All right, it's time for a little self-assessment. Are you addicted to the do-it-myself syndrome? Because if you are, it's time to recognize that you're most likely just a few simple tools away from tapping into a wealth of potential resources. And if you find yourself struggling to make this adjustment, I'd recommend checking out some books on other successful entrepreneurs and business owners who learn to delegate their tasks. Many of whom have said they didn't need to know how to do everything in their businesses. They just needed to know where to go to get it done. Once you hear their stories, you'll know how important this skill is. Well, that's about all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this or found it helpful, then be sure to follow and subscribe for more content like this. And as always, if you're done driving yourself crazy, doing all the things, and would rather let the pros take care of some of that heavy lifting for you so you can stay in your zone of genius, definitely hit me up. We'll talk about getting the content marketing part of your business handled so you can get back to being awesome at what you do. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.